want to take a moment to thank the Gill Foundation for holding such a panel. It is not an easy panel to hold at this particular moment in a political context environment, but it is an important and timely panel, and we thank you very much for bringing us together to be able to highlight some of the stories and issues that we'll be talking about this morning. It is so timely. As I talk to my colleagues who also run LGBT missioned organizations around the country, we have the common experience that when any of us send out an email or an action alert on an issue with regard to immigration, we get mixed response. Mixed response through tweets and Facebook and emails. In fact, just last night, my organization, the task force, was holding an event in South Beach, and a gentleman came up to me at that event and he said, "I have been a task force supporter for years and I can no longer support you." I said, "Well, tell me more about that." And he said, "You support illegal aliens, and I cannot support an LGBT organization," and he kept saying, excuse my language, but he kept saying illegal aliens. So we had a discussion about it. He will no longer be a supporter, but I did ask of him that he take that money and give it to another LGBT organization that he cares about. But he was so intense about his feelings, and that's not unusual for many of our organizations. And on the other hand, when we put out action alerts or statements on immigration, we get moving stories coming back our way, often from young people who are living in the intersections of what we will be talking about today. I'm just briefly going to read a portion of an email that I got after making a statement on immigration from a young man, JM are his initials, and he said, "I'm an undocumented student in Minneapolis. And I was really glad that you talked about immigration as an issue that as LGBT people we care about. This gives me hope that I, along with everyone else working for comprehensive immigration reform, will have many new allies. We want to use our degrees, safely travel around our beautiful states or visit our families, but more importantly, we want to be visible." They just want to be visible. So today, in our conversation, we will be talking about visibility and invisibility and what it means to sit at the intersections of the work of both the immigration rights movement and the LGBT movement. To set the stage for us today, we're going to show 3 short videos that tell the stories of LGBT immigrants. The first video is the story of a binational couple. Because of the broken immigration system, US-born LGBT people cannot help their foreign-born partners obtain citizenship the way that straight couples can. You will see from the video what this means for these binational LGBT couples and their families. The second is the story of a transgender woman who fled her country because of the discrimination she faced. She was coming to the US to find a better, more welcoming way of life. As you saw in the international panel on Friday, things are challenging in other parts of the world. And as you will see from this video, she did not receive the welcome that she thought she might have coming to this country. The third video is the story of 2 students, one who identifies as gay, and Felipe, who identifies as bisexual. They were brought to the US when they were very young. They grew up and went to school in this country, which, for all they know, is their home. One graduated in 4th in his high school class of 500 people, but was told upon graduation that he had no future in this country because he was not a US citizen. Felipe has a similar story. Over the years, there has been pending federal legislation that, as Andrew talked about, would allow young immigrants who obtain a college degree or join the military to become US citizens. This legislation has become known as the DREAM Act. This video is the story of those students who marched with other young leaders from Miami to Washington to persuade Congress to pass the DREAM Act. Videos, please.
You're all?
Well, we've been together for 23 years. I met Cheryl, we fell in love, and we have 2 wonderful twin boys, Jashley and Jorian. Since the boys were born, I thought that our lives will be just like a normal family and this thing wouldn't even happen to us. It's like beyond imagination.
The reason why I was about to be deported is because Jay cannot petition for me because in the immigration law they don't recognize same-sex partners.
I'm an American citizen, the kids are American citizens, and we can't even protect Shirley to be with us. They wanted us to be torn apart, and that's something you don't do to a family.
When she first came here, she was 21 years old. The guy who murdered her mom and her sister at the Philippines and was almost getting out of jail. And she was afraid.
Before, we were just living our regular lives. We enjoyed these sports. We played basketball, tennis, and we were just living a regular life. We heard a knock on the door, and I was still asleep. And then they came in.
They picked my mom up, and then they handcuffed her, and then they put her in a van. We kept on asking questions. Why is this happening to our family, and why is this happening to her right now?
When this thing happened to my family, it really makes me feel so sad that I'm treated differently by the United States.
We don't know where to go. We don't know what to do.
My mom's a good person. I'm sorry. And she didn't deserve to get deported.
Nunca estuvo en mi mente que iba a pasar algo así, porque supuestamente ellos están para proteger, no para abusar. Cuando yo estaba en México, yo llevaba una vida muy difícil porque yo sentía la discriminación hasta de mi propia familia. Me motivó más porque ser libre como lo soy aquí, desenvolverme quien en realidad yo me sentía que era. Al llegar aquí a la detención me sentí mal porque casi es estar viviendo lo que estaba viviendo en México. Me metieron a una celda de segregación. El delito era de que uno era un transgénero. Nosotros no teníamos derecho ni de tomar un recreo como lo hacían las otras personas de la detención. Sacarnos esposadas de la celda de castigo al baño, como si nosotras fuéramos unas asesinas a lo mejor, o que nos queríamos escapar, y eso para mí es algo injusto. En ese tiempo yo tenía apenas 3 días de haber llegado. Vino un oficial de migración. Y me hizo que le hiciera sexo oral. Me dio mucho asco. Ellos piensan que porque uno sea un transgénero, sea quien sea, ellos pueden abusar de uno porque uno esté atado de pies y manos. En una celda uno no tiene cómo defenderse. Él me suplicaba que no le dijera a nadie, pero yo tenía mucho coraje. Yo me sentía como que me vigilaban nada más a mí, sentía como el repudio de ellos hacia mí, porque yo había denunciado a uno de sus compañeros. Y eso me estaba haciendo de que yo estaba recurriendo a suicidarme.
My name is Juan Rodriguez. I'm 20 years old, and I came to the United States when I was 6 years old.
My name is Felipe Matos, and I'm 23, and I was born in Rio, Brazil.
We want to take our story, our struggle, our convictions, and our passion 1,500 miles all the way to D.C.
We are aware of the risk, but our future is already at risk because our present is unbearable.
Today is February 11th, 12th.
It's cold and wet. Look at the weather over there.
I'm calling because I'm hearing from the local community members about many hate crimes that are occurring here. Many of those crimes are going unreported.
We want them to take their sorry selves back to Mexico and stay out of our country.
It's true, they need to deport all their Mexicans and they should be eradicated, whatever the means it takes.
We speak English!
The Dreamwalkers are spending today in Albany on their 5-month journey. Hispanic youngsters from South Georgia were moved to tears.
Undocumented students risk arrest and even deportation, to send Gwinnett County Sheriff's a message this afternoon.
Everybody call us illegal right now, and all we're asking is what it's rightfully ours.
These three stories are just a few of the many, many ways that the immigration system is broken in this country and affects LGBT people. It should come as no surprise, although it does come as a surprise to some, that there are LGBT immigrants, and they face discrimination because of their immigration status as well as their sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression.